Because me eating meat makes me a better manifester. My name is Mr. 2020. You are listening to the Power of Imagination podcast, where we explore one thing and one thing only. The truth that sets you free. The wonderful power of the human imagination. And Neville Goddard was just like me. At one point, he was into abstinence. In other words, no nookie for you. And he was also into, killing kale. Right? And carrots. Killing kale and carrots. Right? And he didn't drink, didn't smoke, and didn't have much fun. And Abdullah said, "You will die." He said, you went first class, and most people miss that Abdullah said, "You will die." Right? Neville didn't know what that meant. Abdullah did. Because Neville was still worshiping secondary cause. In other words, I'll be closer to God, more pure. Maybe even, I don't know if this is the case, but there's a lot of people that say, you manifest quicker when you only eat kale and carrots. And I think that's absolute nuts, right? Because here's the deal, gang. There's one cause. It's you. It's your identity. It's the pearl of great price. And Neville said you must give up your belief in, well, I'll just call it what it is. How much cat shit do you want in your coffee cup? The more cat shit in the coffee cup, the less coffee you got, right? Well, I got me a nice little coffee cup. It says, there it is, look at that. Man's faith in God is measured by his confidence in himself. And I'm drinking my butter coffee with a duck egg in it. Oh my God, it's so good. And I don't blame anything on the coffee or the duck egg or the butter. I enjoy it. Now, here's the cool thing. Ready? I love eating meat. I really do. I'm the world's first fleshitarian. I eat flesh and fat cooked on fire. That's all I eat. That's all I've eaten for almost 2 years. And it works for me because that's what I desire. But I didn't know I was going to be the world's first fleshitarian. Now check this out. I didn't know I was going to be a veggie for 2 years. I was a very strict veggie for 2 years. And then I woke up one day and just felt it was time to eat a steak. My wife at the time said, "I thought you were a veggie." And I said, "I was." She goes, "What changed?" I said, "Meat." Right? I just felt it's time to eat meat. And I started eating meat again. Here's the thing. Neville Goddard says the moment a desire comes upon you, that's when you accepted it in its fullness. You don't make a list. Right? You don't diagram it out. You don't make a 4-hour-long mind movie. You don't listen to brainwave recordings. What do? You accept it in its fullness. And there's a formula for that. By the way, if you get gold from what we do, manifestingmasterydeluxe.com. It's currently on special. You can save $100. We're also tossing in like 500, 600, 700 bucks worth of bonuses. You get the live group calls. You get the Facebook group. And you get that forever. So that's manifestingmasterydeluxe.com. 90 new videos, by the way. At like 7 minutes of video, roughly, times 90, that's a lot of new stuff, right? And you just watch one little one a day and go play. But let's go back. Ready? You've got to give up your belief in everything outside of you. And Neville was believing that eating meat made him more spiritual. Wrong answer. Neville was believing not eating meat was. And he would go to family get-togethers and not have meat, and they would make him his own special little plate, and they thought he was a nutter. Right? His words, not mine. They thought he was a nutter. They didn't understand. How can you not eat all this yummy food? Well, guess what happened? The moment of desire came upon him, he surrendered to it. And now he's eating meat, he's drinking wine, having a great time, never got into smoking. Probably because he didn't have a fine cigar, but I digress. But here's the thing, guys. When you do violence to your desires, you're denying your divinity. Let that sink in. If you think kale and carrots makes you more spiritual and then gets you closer to God and it makes it easier to manifest, that's the most ludicrous thing in the world. Because you're probably listening to Neville AI or something. Neville actually, he lost followers because they wanted him to teach. Well, they wanted to teach the veggie thing. They wanted him to teach that, and he wouldn't. He taught the pearl of great price. He taught one greater than John. And he demonstrated what happens when you explore the truth about you that sets you free. He didn't settle for an explanation. He was a living exploration. What if it were true? Man's faith in God is measured by his confidence in himself. What if it were true? You are the operant power of God. Neville says that. You are the operant power of God. I keep saying you are how God has the adventure of a lifetime. Think about this. If your desires are gifts from God, not goals, and if every desire has its own plan and power of fulfillment, do you really think you need to push? Stop denying your divinity. Stop it. Because when you deny your divinity, you refuse the richness of your reality. My name is Mr. 2020. This is the Power of Imagination podcast, where we explore one thing only, the wonder-working power of the human imagination. And just for fun right now, let's imagine I'm something yummy. Like a T-bone steak, as we go into the silence. So I knew it would happen. One lady tells me that my post disgusts her, it sickens her. My post can't do that. She's imagining something that disgusts her, that sickens her. And I'm sharing gold. I don't care what you eat. I don't. I really don't. I was a veggie. Now I'm a fleshitarian, the world's first fighting fit fleshitarian. And I am how God has the adventure of a lifetime. So are you. Have a great day. See ya.